And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in the Long Dark. Where if memory serves, we should have just finished sleeping in the camp office in Mystery Lake. So my plan right now is to go map Bleak Inlet. So we got a early morning setup here. Or well, I'll go finish mapping what's left of Bleak Inlet. We've got a bunch of torches here. We got some fir firewood. Not any real stick count, so we're just gonna head out. Don't worry about too much of food. We can eat some of the jerky if we need calories as we go. If I was going to worry more about food, I could take a trip over to Trappers for food. I may do that on the way back. I take the detour to Trappers. Right now, as far as mapping is concerned, I think I have like 4 mapping locations in Bleak Inlet to do. I think I know where most of them are. Worst case scenario, there might be one I have forgotten the exact location of. Should all be in Western Bleak Inlet, so that's why we're taking this way through the cave from Forlorn Westgate, because they're going to be closer to those locations instead of descending down the ravine. They're a bit chilly due to how early it is in the morning. I'm finding surprisingly few sticks. Memory serves, I think I have 2 pieces of coal in my pack. So I'd prefer not to use those before I get to Bleak Inlet. I may have to.
My fingers feel numb.
I suppose if we go too far, do we have...
I'm too cold to think.
So yeah, 2 pieces of coal and a couple of... Wait, no coal in there. That might be an issue. Wait, I might have to take the detour over to camp office for charcoal. No, if that's the case, I'll sprint over there. Yeah, it doesn't do any good to make it all the way there and have no charcoal. Right now the hit points is good. But I should try to avoid losing too many before we actually get into the dangerous place that is Bleak Inlet. Between the thin ice and the timber wolves, it can be pretty rippy down there. So, what do you think about this trip? Right, so I think got the island map, there's the road end map, there's some trailer cabins to map. I think there's like one...
Looks like I made it through another night.
Um, one hunting blind to map. That's all the mapping locations. And then everything else is just making the map look good. Alright, so at this point we basically got all the meat here. We'll have to drag some of the bear meat over at some point. Anyway, 2 turtles is starting spot. Get a little bit of sleep here. So taking this short nap should both heal us a little bit and try to pass us a little bit later into the day. Where it should hopefully be a bit warmer. I was hoping for it to be warmer, but it's... arguably this is not particularly warm. If anything, it looks like it's starting to turn into a blizzard. Which is kind of the opposite of what we want for our traveling situation right now. Anyway, let's pass a little bit of time by looking for coal in the tunnel over here. Oh yeah, it's cold. Even in the wind chills, where it's more than 20 degrees cold. The cave will be warm though. It's hoping for warmer weather, and the reality is I'm probably going to get colder weather. Yeah. So I can talk about a little bit of what the future plans is while we're waiting for the weather to change. So today I want to try to record 3 to 4 parts, hopefully. So obviously this will be the first part, 30-40 minutes, I'll record another one, and so on and so forth, as is usual. In those parts, what I'm going to try doing, I'm going to try to finish mapping what's left to Bleak Inlet. Then heading over to... well, probably coming back. We'll see where we are at that point. Might map a little bit of Forlong Muskeg. If we have the appropriate weather / fuel. One reason I'm looking for coal is it's somewhat hard to be warm without coal. Without a whole lot of sticks. Doesn't take a lot of coal, but feels like the game music's a bit on the loud side. I know for you, I actually have it turned down like 2 decibels, so it might not be too loud for you. Whereas at the same time, I myself turned up 2 decibels, so if you're feeling the balance is right, then that's good. If anything, it feels a bit loud to me. Let me check my own sound. Oh, no, it's not that. Okay, so presumably is the game audio. Maybe an update adjusted the sound. Let's turn the master down a little bit. That's a little better. At least that's a little better to me. So yeah, my plan right now is to try to finish mapping Bleak Inlet. Map what is convenient to do on the way back from Bleak Inlet into Forlorn Musket. Probably at that point finish mapping up Mystery Lake. And then I have to make the decision, do I want to go sort of northeast into Pleasant Valley, Timberwolf Mountain, Ash Canyon area, or northeast into sort of Black Rock. Well, actually, Black Rock's sort of up by Timberwolf Mountain, isn't it? Or northeast up into Mountain Town, Usher Valley. No, and it's still a blizzard. I wonder if it's bright enough in the cave to read. Does Mike have a book on this? Yeah. Okay, it sounds like it's still going, so we'll read some more. Okay, I think it's gone now. Hopefully by now it'll have warmed up quite a bit. Okay, I'm wrong. The blizzard is still going. Just is late enough in the day that surprisingly this is a warm blizzard. Almost all the cold's coming from the wind chill. Well, that's a stone. So I might be able to slip along here and get some work done. Hopefully the blizzard will clear. In theory, blizzards are very good for traveling sometimes, with the exception of that you can get quite cold and take a lot of damage that way. Oh, looks like the wind hasn't gone, but the blizzard is gone, so now it's just windy. I don't remember what was a sapling up, and that was a sapling at some point. So there's a decent possibility in your game that is also a sapling. Though it could be a different type of sapling or a different number. Oh, the dreaded walking into the wind. Come to the fact the trees aren't actually that great of wind shelter. You kinda sorta see it in that as I get close enough to the tree, I officially get in the wind shelter of it and walk a bit faster. But in practice, you don't get to take much advantage of it.
Cold is making my head feel thick.
So I'd prefer not to lose a bunch of condition before we get to Bleak Inlet. Especially because the area I'm planning on mapping isn't completely Timberwolf free. I know the Timberwolf balance has been adjusted since the wildlife refresh. But I am still expecting them. So how cold is this? This is... Oh, that's not that bad. Might take a moment to warm up then.
Come on. Come on.
I don't know how many prepped orange crack tea that isn't already in tea shape. Of course, the sun comes out like an hour after I make the fire, so if I wanted to try to use the sun to make the fire, it shows up when I no longer need to. So, usually when it comes to traveling through Forlorn Muskeg, it's basically, from a safe capacity to passage it, it's a loop with a plus in it, from my experience. That is to say, the sort of outer circle for most of it is completely safe. There's one area where you have to do sort of a bridge trick to avoid thin ice, but the outside is mostly safe. And then there's the muskeg, which is the swamp in the middle, the frozen swamp in the middle, which has big patches of thin ice. There are some sort of islands that you can skip between, but basically there's one safe way across the middle, perpendicular to the rail track, and then the rail track is safe to travel. And the rest of it's a bit sketchy to travel in. So you're going to see that I normally travel around the outside. Because it's easy if you're trying to take the perpendicular to the track route to get into trouble. If a visibility hazard comes up. There is a radio tower up here, it's just up this cliff. And we walked past where you climb up there a couple different times in earlier portions. Alright, let's get this wolf to go away. Oh, you wolfie. I have a stone and a torch. Annoyingly, he's going the way that we're going, so we're going to run into him again. Oh, two of them. And then usually I don't take the rail track across unless I am well supplied, because there's no real fuel on the rail track. So our objective is over there. The way up to the radio tower, which you can see the radio tower from here, is up around the back there. We may go up and map that area on the way back. Given I have fuel, or, well, coal or some other fuel to keep the character warm. You need a little less in Forlorn Muskeg than you do in Bleak Inlet. Bleak Inlet is real cold. On the other hand, Forlorn Muskeg is very open, which can get in the way of trying to stay warm. If you get inclement weather comes in and blows your torch or whatever out.
I think I can use this. Can't feel my hands.
Wait, it looks like we're gonna get into this cave before we actually get cold, so that's good to see. It's probably taken longer than I would have really liked to get over here, but we made it. And pretty much in full health, so we'll be in good position, assuming the weather holds, to start mapping. Oh, and conveniently left some coal here, and fuel.
Wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
Eat some jerky. Save a little bit of weight. Oh, and this is one of the caves that have wildlife inside the cave. In this case, it's bunnies. Well, a bunny. Usually there's only one in here. Um, what, in Desolation Point, we already went to the cave that has the wolf. I think there's one more cave that has a wolf. Okay. Got a slight cough there in the middle of the climbing. So just muted the mic and had my cough. And then re-nailed it when cough was passed. Yeah, a couple more pieces of coal. That'll be good for the further exploration. There is a circle in this cave, so if you aren't careful, you can get yourself turned around and be wondering why it's taking far longer to traverse the cave than it should. You end up basically seeing that corpse that was impaled on stalactites multiple times. That's what's happened, is you got him turned around in the circle. Okay, so we got some spare marine flares here if we need it. I don't think I need them right now. Yeah, we don't need it right now. So we'll leave them there. See what the weather is in
I'm gonna have to leave
Bleak
something
Inlet.
behind.
Clear. Windy. But otherwise, not that bad. Ah, well that might be more. I don't remember that corpse being there. So needless to say, if it's this level of windy, I'm gonna have to be careful where I'm mapping. Well, where I want to map, because the wind will just blow a bunch of fires out if I'm not careful. So Bleak Inlet is one of the places that's pretty notorious for thin ice. So a lot of the rivers down here can be thin ice areas that you can fall through into. So this is, as you can tell by this tree, this is the area in Bleak Inlet where the moose is. Which I suppose if I killed the moose would solve all our food problems. Or what's left of Bleak Inlet at this point. But I don't see him right now. Alright, so this is the Hunter Blind. This is a place I need to map.
Feels like night is coming.
Which way is the wind coming? That way, probably. Not sunny enough to start a fire with a torch. So this doesn't necessarily need to be a very long fire.
I need to find some place to escape this cold.
Okay, so we're -6. So we can go ahead and just stick like 8 sticks in here. So there's the hunter's blind. As far as surveyed locations, how many are we missing? We got 3. We're missing 3. And there we go. So, last resort cannery.
Can't feel my feet.
I think that's not what immediately comes to mind when I think about last resort cannery. I think that's the trailer cabin I was talking about earlier. The coastal highway terminus and to the cave system. Well, I didn't get that apparently. Oh, I thought I'd picked that up earlier. No, we might double back for that. Actually, no, we'll pick that on the way out. Because we're going to hide in that cave. So there's another cave. There's a cave on the island out here. Surprised that's not location. River terminus, or the coastal highway terminus is over here. Then I think last resort cannery is actually the trailer cabins over here. Where the mouse is and dragging the map around. So we're here. So you can see there's a bunch of... Well, most of the delta isn't mapped, but the bit the delta you have to map to get the word is actually this bit around here. Even though the word's over here. So if we wanted a really pretty map, that all needs to get mapped. But that's not a rush. There's a cave over here that I'll probably map as just a safe place where I'll map where I'm warm in 1 minute. And we need to get more charcoal at some point. Also, I think we reached the point of the weather where the weather is going to say no to more mapping, which is its own set of problems. What's my water looking like? Tolerable.
My fingers feel numb.
Interesting. Is jerky not something you need a partial of? Maybe not. Okay, it's starting to cool down here, so this is not a place I can hang out. Hopefully when I come back here later, I'll be able to take a piece of coal, well, a piece of charcoal out of that fire. Coming over here, because as you can see, this is birch bark location because of the birch bark trees. It's usually not super rich. And it's not uncommon that if the moose is up, the moose is in this birch bark forest. Or the birch forest. So, again, that's another reason I don't commonly come over here, because moose can be a bit troublesome to deal with.
Never felt so cold in my life.
And we're wandering along. Other than natural resources like sticks, this area isn't super important. Great using point for reishi mushrooms if you're needing them for dealing with things. Ah, so there is one of the problems we can run into. 3 wolves, and there's a decent possibility based on where we are that they're probably timber wolves. So they could be normal wolves. It's hard to tell from this distance. But they're a bit clumped up, which is probably an indication they're timber. Yeah, I'm definitely appreciating the jerky. If I was carrying meat that wasn't dried, I would have been detected by now by them. So here's a cave. It is a location. I don't think this is a location that the map wants mapped. Start our fire here. Mainly generate a little bit of charcoal. So I'm going to put an hour worth of fuel in the fire.
Come on.
And I'm going to take a short sleep, both to burn that fire down, make a little bit of water, and to put a quick save in for a part break. So this is where I'm going to put the part break in. So if you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, hope you've been enjoying it. This is where I'm going to take a short break and end the YouTube recording. So there will probably be another part up tomorrow, as I'll record at least a couple more tonight. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. I'm going to have a quick stretch, drink a little bit of tea to keep my throat and mouth working, and then we'll get right back to it. So catch you all in the next part. Bye for now.